Hi, everyone. Judge Andrew Napolitano here for Judging Freedom. Today is Monday, May 6, 2024. Scott Ritter joins us now. Scott, it's a pleasure. Thank you for joining us. I want to talk about a variety of topics: the suppression of free speech in the United States, the coming invasion of Rafah, the compulsive fear of criticism of Benjamin Netanyahu, and the latest in Ukraine, and I'll start there. Do you think President Putin is running out of patience, or will he continue his methodical war of attrition, no matter what Emmanuel Macron says, no matter what David Cameron threatens, no matter what Tony Blinken promises?
I think we need to understand one fundamental truth here, that this conflict is seen by Russia as an existential conflict, that there is no tie, there is no defeat, there is only victory. And they have put together a plan to achieve that victory. And they're on the cusp of that happening right now. As we speak, the Ukrainian army is disintegrating at the front. This is sending waves of panic through NATO, et cetera. And this is why you see, Emmanuel Macron talking about the need to send French troops if the Ukrainian line collapses. Well, it's collapsing right now. David Cameron making similar statements. Russia has a plan. They have mobilized the troops. They have trained the troops. They have the conventional military to achieve this objective. As I was told by a general earlier this year, major changes on the map in May and probably game over by the end of the summer. And that's the trajectory they're on. The problem is you have the West saying insane things, such as if the Ukrainian line collapses, NATO troops will intervene. This is why Vladimir Putin now has ordered the Southern Military District. People, please just open your eyes and your ears and listen to what I'm saying. The Southern Military District to carry out training for the employment of tactical nuclear weapons. This doesn't mean that they're going to use nuclear weapons in Ukraine. They're not. They're going to blow the hell out of NATO forces in Romania, Poland, Germany, France, Italy. It's nuclear war. If this is what you want, West, you're going to get it. Putin doesn't bluff. This ain't a game. This isn't joke. This is life and death for Russia. They've made that clear from the very beginning. And so now we have a situation where NATO tried to call us bluff. The United States poured hundreds of billions of dollars worth of weaponry and money and such into the Ukrainian military. Russia had a plan. They ground it out. All this nonsense you hear in the West, Russia's suffering 1,000 dead. The number of Russian losses right now on the battlefield are the lowest they've been since the war started. That's how unbalanced this is right now. Russia is dominating the front line. They are devastating the Ukrainians. It was 800 Ukrainian dead a week ago. It was 1,000 earlier. It's up to 1,500 dead. They're just being slaughtered. They're being annihilated, and there's nothing to replace them. So they are literally collapsing. NATO is in a panic. Macron's talking about sending troops. Poland's talking about sending troops. And Russia's saying, I don't know how many times we have to tell you, if NATO troops show up on Ukrainian soil, we're going to nuke you. We're going to nuke you. Okay, we're going to take you out, not your troops in Ukraine. We're going to nuke the decision-making centers. Russia isn't bluffing. I hope the people watching right now are getting cold sweats right now because the world's over at this point, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, it's over. It's game, set, match. It's done. Whatever plans you had for the summer, they're canceled. Whatever Christmas plans you had, forget about it. So get scared, start calling people and saying, what the hell are you doing, Tony Blinken? Biden, get on the phone to Macron and tell him to shut up and sit down. The same thing with the Poles, because this is it. Russia's getting ready to exercise the use of tactical nuclear weapons in the Southern Military District. Okay, that means that if NATO troops are deployed, because the Ukrainian army is collapsing as we speak, and Macron has said it's his red line. And if they collapse, I have no choice, he says, but to send French troops in. Well, the Russians will kill them, but then they're going to nuke France. So there we are. This is about as serious as it gets, and yet we are sleepwalking. We are sound asleep. Nobody in America cares. Nobody.
Do they understand what you've said, but they choose to ignore it for political reasons? When I say they, I mean the West, the West Wing, the White House, the American State Department.
No, 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 because they're not suicidal. I've seen them scared before. I've seen them uh, early on when Putin said, "Hey, I just want to let you know from the start, this is our thing. We're doing it, and if you put NATO boots on the ground, we nuke you." And at the start, everybody said, "Oh, you can't say that. You can't talk about nuclear weapons." And they were scared. And then they said, "Well, we don't see any evidence of this, and we think he's bluffing." And then when he reminded them again, "You guys come in there, we nuke you." He's
Right.
bluffing. Right now. They think he's bluffing.
Let me
And,
ask some.
yeah.
Let me ask some technical questions. If Ukraine is foolish enough to send an F-35 equipped with a nuclear weapon into the sky, and it is shot down, does that engage the nuclear aspect of it?
If Ukraine possesses a nuclear weapon, that engages the nuclear aspect of it. The moment Russia finds out Ukraine has received a nuclear weapon, Russia will react accordingly. Ukraine cannot have nuclear weapons. Now, here's an interesting thing. Russia has put the West on notice that they will treat the F-16s as nuclear weapons carriers.
All right, so that's the point of my question.
Yeah.
If they truly are nuclear weapons carriers and Russia uses a low yield nuclear weapon to take it down, does that set off the nuclear paraphernalia, for lack of a better word, in the atmosphere?
Uh, First of all, Russia's not using a nuclear weapon to take it down. Russia's going to drop a nuclear weapon on Romanian bases, Polish bases, German bases, and then they're going to go ahead and take out decision-making centers. So they'll engage Europe with about 50 nuclear weapons. Then the question is, what is the United States going to do? Commit suicide? Because that's just that's low-level stuff Russia's using. All their big stuff still sit there on full alert. So the moment the United States goes to alert, sends signals out to the subs, the Russians will say, "Okay, screw it. Goodbye. Do svidaniya. You're all dead. Everybody dies. We go to heaven as martyrs because we didn't start this. We warned you. Do not use F-16s. Those F-16s come from nations that are part of the NATO nuclear sharing program. And because they are part of the nuclear weapons sharing program, we have to assume that they still retain that role when they enter Ukraine." And the West is going, "But no, no, no." Russia doesn't care. Russia says,
So
"I don't care what you say."
Does Ukraine have American F-16s as we speak?
They are training on not American F-16s American made F-16, but they're
Yeah.
training on F-16s provided by NATO countries as we speak. These weapons have not arrived in Ukraine yet, but they're expected to do so sometime this summer. So this is why Russia's trying to give us all the heads up possible. They'll treat it as a nuclear weapons carrier. If NATO troops land, if get involved, they're going to, Russia's ready to go to nuclear war. This is not a game for Russia. This is literal existential survival. People should listen to Vladimir Putin tomorrow. He's being inaugurated. One of the biggest events in modern geopolitical history, and the West, again, is ignoring it. Listen to his speech. It's going to be very deliberate. His words are going to be carefully chosen.
If President Macron sends a few thousand troops to Ukraine, regular French troops, not the Foreign Legion, does Putin attack Paris?
Well, no, what will happen is that Putin will kill all the French troops, and then he'll probably strike the French logistics centers in Romania. Now, at that point in time, France has said that, the stupidity of the French is unmeasurable. You have a French general who says, "But we have 200 nuclear weapons. Russia would never bomb our troops in Romania." Well, that's my worst French accent in the world. But the point is, it doesn't matter, man. Russia's got thousands of them, and they will take you off the map. And that's what France needs to understand, that you will be taken off the map. You will no longer exist, whether you have 200 nukes or not. The French need to start shutting up. And this is where America's got to be a leader and call Macron and say, "Just shut up. I don't want to hear another word out of you."
So does Bill Burns, the head of the CIA, understand what you just said?
100% he knows they're not bluff. He is right now screaming to the White House, this isn't a joke. This is red alert kind of stuff. But here's the problem. Blinken and Sullivan said, well, we can't back down because then the Russians will think that they've achieved some sort of nuclear deterrent supremacy over us. We have to stand tall. If we back down, then the NATO nuclear sharing program is no longer viable. We can't back down. This is about pride. This is about America standing tall. And they'll say this nonsense, and Biden will sit there with his senility and go, oh, yes, we must do this. And next thing you know, we're going to be standing tall. The French are going to go, well, America's standing tall. Hell, let's do this. And boom, we're all dead.